Runescape. If you're watching this, then you're probably someone like me who spent countless hours playing Runescape when you were younger, staying up on school nights, playing during the holidays, playing just about whenever you could just to make a little more gold, or just to get a little more XP in one of your favorite skills. Or perhaps you were more of a casual player. Either way, I'd like to welcome you all on a journey where we discuss our favorite childhood video game and the secrets that lie beneath, to the bottom of the iceberg. Before I explain, I'd like to begin by saying that I did not make this iceberg illustration. A user on Reddit uploaded this, and to my surprise, no one's made a Runescape Iceberg video. Finally, I'd like to thank Guides for Us All and Baron on YouTube for allowing me to use some of their content for the creation of this video. Go check them out, I'll provide a link below. Once we begin, we will cover the highest layers of the iceberg, discussing well-known topics that you may already know. We will start to descend down the layers of the iceberg, where topics begin to become more uncommon and perhaps mysterious and unusual. Without further ado, I present the Runescape Iceberg. Buying GF, or buying girlfriend, is an expression that someone is showing interest in purchasing a girlfriend within RuneScape. There were a good handful of players that had in-game girlfriends, which many speculated were actually men pretending to be women to scam people for gold or other items. The buying GF joke was invented to mock these RuneScape relationships. Does this even need an explanation? We all know this one, we've probably hummed to it more than we'd like to admit. Shanty 2 is unlocked in Port Sarim, and is arguably one of the most popular tracks in all of RuneScape. And if you haven't heard any yet, there's some sick remixes of this song floating around on YouTube. The Duel Arena is a site located slightly northeast of Alcard where players can go to engage in one-on-one combat. It was introduced in an update on March 25th, 2004. Here, you can choose to fight against another player, or stand by and watch and throw rotten tomatoes at people. You will not lose anything if you lose in a standard fight. However, players can choose to bet or stake items and gold coins. Whoever wins the battle takes home the profit. The Evolution of Combat was an update in 2012 that completely modified RuneScape's combat system. This update brought along a variety of new content, including powerful abilities, dual-wielding weapons, monsters were given new attacks, and much more. EOC is described as one of the biggest and most controversial updates in RuneScape history. Gnome Child. Whoa. That's a little too creepy for the first layer of the iceberg. I'm sorry. The Gnome Child was added to RuneScape in an update in 2002 and can be found in the Tree Gnome Stronghold. However, around 2014 became a huge meme across the internet. The Gnome Child's hat can actually be seen on the r/dankmemes logo on Reddit as of the posting of this video. It can also be found hidden in the background of the subreddit's banner. On Old School RuneScape's 7th anniversary event, the Gnome Child said some really interesting stuff.
So many symbols, so many signs. What do they mean? The answer is written in blood. A door will finally open. A body lies within.
After doing some research, the 2020 anniversary event for Old School RuneScape had absolutely nothing to do with the Gnome Child or anything he had to say. He was just there. Zezima is perhaps the biggest RuneScape celebrity of all time, who was the highest ranked player for most of 2004 through 2007. He was the first player to achieve 99 Slayer, and by doing so, became the first player to have 99 in all skills. Mod Mark, one of Jagex's moderators, asked Zezima personally if he'd like to be quoted in a RuneScape novel, Betrayal at Falador, and he accepted. Also, during RuneFest 2013, Jagex awarded him a Golden Gnome. The Golden Gnome Awards is an annual competition that recognizes members of the RuneScape community. Lastly, Zezima revealed on his Twitch channel that he has around 40,000 hours on RuneScape. That's over 1,500 entire days of playing RuneScape. For those of you who don't want to play the newest version of RuneScape, you can instead play old school RuneScape. In 2013, old school RuneScape was released as the 2007 backup version of the game. It's commonly referred to as OSRS or 2007scape. Here's a few major differences between old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3. Old school RuneScape graphics are basic and do not have enhanced textures. There is no summoning, dungeoneering, divination, invention, or archaeology skill. Aside from membership bonds, there are no microtransactions in old school RuneScape. RuneScape 3 was a 2013 update that added a collection of new features to the game, including a customizable user interface, new camera controls, an orchestrated soundtrack, improved audio, and various other features. The Falador Massacre was a notorious glitch that occurred on June 6, 2006, which gave it the nickname the 666 glitch. It all began when Cursed You, the first player to ever reach 99 construction, hosted a house party in RuneScape. A number of players were engaged in combat activities, and due to the amount of players attending the party, the game was lagging terribly, forcing the owner to boot everyone from the house. The players that had been inside the combat ring at the time they were kicked out of the house had retained the ability to attack other players anywhere in the world, even outside of PvP areas. These players began attacking and killing unsuspecting victims, spreading from Remington all the way through Falador. These victims unfortunately could not retaliate. The massacre lasted for about an hour before Jagex moderators were notified. The bug was patched and Jagex permanently banned several players. There's a memorial located in Falador Park for the ones that lost their lives during the Falador Massacre. Doubling money is a pretty common trust trade scam in RuneScape. The scammer will say things like doubling money until a victim trades them in hopes to have their gold doubled. At this point, the victim is hoping to receive a second trade containing double the amount of gold they had. This is typically when the scammer logs off. RuneScape Classic is the second version of RuneScape publicly released on January 4th, 2001. It was replaced in March of 2004 with what was known as RuneScape 2. In August of 2018, Jagex had shut down RuneScape Classic servers and is no longer available to play. There were 18 different skills to train, with agility, fletching, herblaw, and thieving only available to members. In RuneScape Classic, an NPC could only talk with one player at a time. This created competition over who got to talk to an NPC when a new quest or shop was released. This also allowed people to grief and intentionally delayed dialogue so other people couldn't speak to an NPC. And in case you're wondering, what came before RuneScape Classic? The answer is Devious Mud. Devious Mud was created in 1998 by Andrew Gower, the former lead developer and co-founder of Jagex, and eventually evolved into the modern day RuneScape. The @ symbol is primarily used for spamming the chat in RuneScape. This is most commonly used to build hype within the game. The @ symbol is the perfect symbol for this due to its large size. While waiting in a lobby for a minigame, or maybe someone's about to max their account, you may see people in the area just spamming the @ symbol. Speaking of chatting in RuneScape, you can type specific commands that can change the color or movement of your text. Here's a list of the chat effects as well as some examples. You can also combine a color and an effect to really spice up your chat. Private servers are user-made servers based on RuneScape. These private servers are managed by individuals or small online teams. Private servers may look the same as RuneScape, however, the game can actually be completely modified by the owners. Some people prefer playing on private servers because it's usually easier to gain experience and collect rare items. Sometimes the servers also have their own custom items that do not exist in real RuneScape. Prayer flicking is a method of using prayers without continuously draining your prayer points. A skilled player will turn prayers on right as their prayer effect is required, and turn it off immediately after an enemy attack lands. Flicking requires some timing and skill, but doing it correctly can save you a lot of prayer points and allow a player to fight for longer durations and even increase damage rates. A bond is an in-game item that is purchased with real money and can be used as an alternate method for obtaining membership. or in RS3, redeeming keys and rune coins and purchasing items from Solomon's general store. When a player purchases a bond with real money and immediately sells them to the Grand Exchange, it is essentially a microtransaction and pay to win. Old school RuneScape does not contain any microtransactions unless you consider bonds. What are your opinions on this? A large percentage of Venezuela's population has been living in poverty due to the crumbling of the country's economy since around 2010. Some people are working minimum wage jobs earning the equivalent of $5 to $7 a month. Due to this, people have had to find innovative methods to survive during these tough times. Yo, I'm trying to make a YouTube video here. Anyways. Some Venezuelans have resorted to making and selling RuneScape gold for a source of income. In an interview, ex-accountant Martinez had quit his job due to the failing economy and was making less than $4 a month. RuneScape has been a lifeline for Martinez and his family, mentioning that his family would have starved if it wasn't for RuneScape. He was able to accumulate over $450 by gold farming and used the money to move to Peru, where he continued to play and save an additional $1,000, which he used to move his family out of Venezuela. Depending on which state in Venezuela you're from, pretty much everyone knows about the game, Martinez stated in the interview. Some Venezuelans stated they can earn about $40 a month selling gold at a rate of 1 million coins for roughly 50 cents. WhiteCat22, also known as A Friend on YouTube, is a famous RuneScape player who also received the Golden Gnome Award during RuneFest in 2013. Shortly after the release of Hardcore Iron Man mode, he became known for his high stats and ability to avoid death. He continuously posted videos to highlight his progress. Almost a year of playing his Hardcore Iron Man account, his character was killed in a battle with the Deranged Archaeologist, which was a new boss that was released with the Fossil Island update. Cow Elite's Killer is an NPC that has the appearance of a player that can be spotted throughout RuneScape. You may have seen him if you completed the Animal Magnetism quest. His combat level is 123, despite the inability to attack him, and wears a runeplate body, runeplate skirt, rune boots, clanks gauntlets from the Underground Pass quest, Darrock's helmet, and Darrock's great axe. This quote-unquote player was also present for the 2017 and 2018 birthday events in RuneScape. 31337 stands for Elite in Leet speak, making his name Cow Elite Killer. Sailing was put forward as a free-to-play skill for players in 2015. Sailing would consist of 3 main activities: exploration, navigation, and ship building. The skill was explained throughout a 3-page dev blog. According to this, the sailing skill included the creation of ships using different logs at various ports, using cannons in PvP combat similar to the wilderness, and exploring new islands which could only be reached with the sailing skill. A poll ran for 6 days, resulting in a 68% yes to 32% no vote, failing to reach the 75% requirement to pass. Diango is a toy merchant located in Drainer Village. He is able to replace holiday items that a player had earned from previous holiday events. He was originally added to RuneScape as an April Fool's joke on April 1st, 2004. Several players had been requesting for the ability to ride horses. Jagex announced that Diango would be added to the game to sell horses, which he does, except that they're toy horses. When Diango is examined, you learn that he smells funny. Luring is when a player tricks another player into following them into a dangerous location, usually within the wilderness. Luring is typically done when the victim has a large amount of wealth with them so that when they die, they will lose their valuable items to the lurer. Lurer? Since March of 2007, luring has been considered scamming. However, there have been no confirmed cases of players ever being banned for it. The RuneScape game engine runs on a unit of time referred to as ticks. Each tick is 0.6 seconds. Performing an action quickly enough within a tick, players can interrupt animations to gain an advantage while skilling or in combat. There are several different methods of ticking, all of them having different uses. Prayer flicking, as stated previously, is one type of tick manipulation. You can also use tick eating, 3-tick mining, 1-tick cooking, and a few others to your advantage. In October of 2020, popular old-school RuneScape content creator named Settled posted a video in his long-running RuneScape series. In the video, he finally maxed out both attack and strength on his ultimate Iron Man region-locked account, named Swampletics. Soon after, his character was allegedly killed while AFK in Mortania. Settled never provided footage of the death, but gave a brief description on what happened, mentioning that he had become complacent after spending so much time in the same region. But that wasn't a good enough answer for many people in the community. Some people think his account's death was fake and believe his gear was stashed away somewhere, possibly dropped to an alternate account. Settled has also been going through a tough time throughout his personal life, thinking that Swampletics' death may have had something to do with his ex-girlfriend. Botany Bay was a location in RuneScape added in September of 2012 where players could choose a punishment for bot accounts and watch them be judged in a court system. To vote for a bot's punishment, a trial announcer could be found in banks of major cities, including Varrock, Falador, and East Ardun. There were 3 punishments for the bots. Crushing. A claw of justice would land on the bot from above, killing it immediately. Swallowing. The ground beneath the bot shakes, then an abyssal worm devours the bot. Deity. A ray of light shines onto the bot. The bot floats upwards into the light and is incinerated. Botany Bay was removed in August of 2018. Spaghetti code is a term for code that is unstructured or difficult to maintain. The term has become disliked by RuneScape players and developers alike, as this was often given as a reason why we are not seeing certain updates or reworks in RuneScape. RuneScape is old, therefore has a lot of old code, which if not planned accordingly, can lead to future issues.
We do have spaghetti code in the game, right? You know, a game that's been running for 20 years has spaghetti code.
The second floor of Varrock banks are notorious for people engaging in real-world trading. There's no real purpose for anyone to go up there, creating a safe location with easy access. Sometimes you can see many players or bot accounts hiding in the top floor of these banks, dropping or trading items. The rotten potato was first introduced at RuneFest 2010. It is only available to Jagex moderators. By using the potato, they are able to access various moderator tools. There are a handful of known features that we currently know. Using the item on a player will paste their information to the developer console. It can max level the user, setting all skills to 99 or higher. You can use it to view information about any NPC, and finally, the user can toggle invisibility on themselves. There was an incident where a player stole a rotten potato from a moderator inside of Stealing Creation. The player appeared to have spawned a quest point cave despite only having 51 quest points. After this event, it was patched and the rotten potato is no longer allowed to be pickpocketed. I'd like to thank a few people from Reddit for helping me out with some of the information on this list. Truckbomb99 for making the list, Pac Manticore, The Top Taco, Joylamp, RiseDog1, Cost the Boss 123, Ronk96. You guys are cool. Also, thank you for watching the video. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing part 2 for this.